Hi everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to How to Build a Membership Site That Makes Money. My name is Topher Morrison, and for the next hour and a half, I'm going to be sharing with you some really powerful content. So make sure that you turn your phones off, shut your doors to your office, tell everybody you can't be disturbed, because I'm not going to waste a minute with fluff. I'm going to jump into this right away as quickly as I can and get started. So a couple of things about this webinar. Number one, if you have a question, feel free to type it to me. There's a little space for you on the screen here for you to type your questions, and I'll either answer it immediately if I think it's great and will add value to the webinar. I'll answer it at the end, which is probably mostly what I'll do, just as an open frame, or I will answer it privately through an email if I feel that it doesn't really relate to the topics that we're talking about here today. And I also may do that if I just run out of time and don't have time to answer all of the emails or all of the questions, because I do have an awful lot of content to share with you here today. Secondly, depending upon whether or not you're listening to a live presentation or a pre-recorded one based upon your time zone, you might not get your question answered, obviously, because if you're listening to a rebroadcast, I can't see your question. The cool thing about the software that I'm using, though, is that if you type your question into a rebroadcasted webinar, I'm going to get an email on it that night, and I'll respond to you within 24 to 48 hours. So feel free to ask any questions that you have throughout the whole program, and I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to give you some really cool motivation to listen to this whole thing as well, all right? So I want to encourage you to stick around to the very end, because what I'm going to do for everybody who listens to the whole program, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get my best-selling product, The Mental Game of Life, Bulletproof Strategies to Crush the Competition. We sell this online at $767.50. That's a 10 DVD set. We're going to sell it, or not sell it tonight. We're actually going to give everybody an opportunity to get the online version for free. So you want to stick around and learn how to get that, because that's a great opportunity. All right, now having said that, let me give you a little bit of background into how I created this website, or this membership site, so you'll understand that what I'm sharing with you here today isn't just theory. It's been applied and it works. Now, will it work for you? Hey, I don't know. But it certainly worked for me, and I think that if you follow these governing principles, it is going to work for you, but who knows, right? And by the way, that's another great reason to listen to me, because I don't sell membership site services. I'm not trying to sell you anything today here that has to do with building your own membership site. I'm an unbiased person. I'm a moron with my own membership site that seemed to work, and I'm going to share with you what I did by accident that seemed to produce some pretty cool results. So here's the background. I had an NLP hypnosis business that was doing very well. We were doing well over 7 figures a year. I think our highest year we did 1.4 million in sales. And I really just kind of got tired of it. So I wanted to get out of that and do the one thing that I loved, which is training people how to speak, whether it be platform skills to a live audience, or presentation skills to a camera for a virtual audience, or interviewing skills, or talk show host skills, or teleprompter skills, whatever. I love all of that kind of stuff. So I wanted to sell that a lot more and just get rid of the NLP and hypnosis. And I knew that as I decreased the NLP and the hypnosis and I increased the speaker training aspect of things, there's going to be a dip in my revenue. But I'd thankfully been smart enough with my money, saved enough that I knew I could weather the storm, so to speak, because I figured it was going to be about a 3 to 6 month time where it slowed up a little bit. Well, I'm, by the way, a self-professed idiot in business, and my 3 to 6 months grew quite a bit. It became about a year and a half, and I ran out of money. I mean, it was the point where I actually stopped paying myself a salary. I was loaning my personal money back to my company to keep it in business and meet its obligations, and we just kind of ran out. So I was getting kind of really desperate, and all of the business experts that I was speaking to were telling me, Topher, create a membership site, create some consistent revenue to where you can breathe a little bit, and that's going to make your life a little easier. So that's what happened. So that was the motivation behind this, and here's what happened. We had a promotional cycle in the beginning. We sent out about 80,000 emails between my mailing list and some joint venture partners that we had. And out of the 80,000 emails, we got 500 people to attend a 3-part webinar. So we had one of them for Australia, one of them for America, and one of them for the UK in terms of time zones. So there are 3 webinars. Total, there was 500 in attendance. Out of those 500 people, we had 188 people buy the membership site. So that's a pretty strong sales ratio or close ratio there. So let's start with that. One of the keys to creating a big kick right up in the beginning with your membership site is have a deal to launch it, which is better than anything that's ever going to be ever out there again. So we had some really cool incentives. One of the incentives that we did was, instead of people having to pay the $47 monthly fee. Oh, I should say this, by the way, my membership site is about speaker training. I'll give you a tour of it here as well. So we did this thing where we figured $47 a month to get the platform skills, the business skills, and all that stuff. That'd be worth it. So we did $47 a month, but the people who signed up for it first, we did a $5 30-day trial. So that was a really good incentive. And then we had lots of other free gifts and incentives on the launch that we don't even operate now. Like, for example, hopefully if you are the slightest bit switched on, you realize that this webinar, while yes, giving you a lot of value, we also have some marketing purposes for it. So I would love for you to join my speaker membership website, and so we'll give you guys an incentive here today as well. But it's not even going to be as good as the one that we did when we opened it with. So that was something that was real important to me. Now, I think a lot of membership sites, they create the bogus specials and then they keep offering it all the time. That's not my style. So you're going to get a great deal today, but you're not going to get as great of a deal as the people who signed up a year ago. But anyway, so let's move on. You'll still get a good deal. So we got 188 people who bought that $5 trial, plus a lot of free bonuses and all that kind of stuff. And I was told by every expert that I'd consulted with regarding membership sites that I could expect to have quite a few people cancel on that. Well, how many canceled? Well, before I share with you that, let me share with you the sales results, because we actually had some upsells in there as well. In fact, out of the 188, we had 73 people just pay $5. We had 76 people buy a $47 upgrade. We had 31 people buy a $97 upgrade. And then we had 8 people buy a $197 upgrade. So that totally brought in, like, if you look at all the revenue, it was 940 plus 3572 plus 3007 plus 1576. All together, we brought in just under $10,000 in sales in that first hour and a half webinar that we did. Now, everybody said that with those 188 people, I'd probably have between 100 to 150 people cancel, because what I was told was when you do a really cool trial offer like that with free bonuses, the majority of the people are just signing up for the free bonuses. They're willing to pay the $5 or the $1 or whatever you want to charge them, and they all drop off. So to say the least, that first month was pretty stressful for me, because I was banking on this thing to be my livelihood for a while until my business kicked out. So I was freaking out every day. I'd come in, open up the emails, just dreading to see the cancellations. But surprisingly, we didn't have any. And, I spoke to one guy and he was saying, don't worry, they're going to happen. Just, it always happens in the last week. So the last week, I was crapping a brick sideways every morning when I'd wake up, just worried about how many sales I'm going to be losing. And what happened was, I'll never forget this. The 30 days go by and I go into the office and I open up my email and I'm just dreading the worst. And sure enough, here's like hundreds of emails, all of them titled Bulletproof Membership, Bulletproof Membership, Bulletproof Membership. And I'm freaking out. I click on the first one, and to my surprise, it was not a cancellation. It was the automated email telling me that $47 had been deposited into my account, which was really good. In fact, the cool thing about it was after the 188 people that signed up, 30 days later, we only had, are you ready for this? We had 14 cancellations. Now, I don't need to tell you, by the way, that's incredible in terms of stick rate. Every expert I've talked to in the membership site services says that is absolutely unheard of. So how did it happen? Well, I think it happened because there's 5 key things that I did that a lot of people don't do on their membership site. So I'm going to talk with you about those in a second. But just keep in mind, 14 cancellations, that equaled me a revenue of $81.78 in monthly revenue, which was saving my ass at the time. By the way, that was pretty good. Fast forward 6 months later, we had 237 members, which was bringing 11 grand a month. Now, 1 year later, I don't have the graphics for that up. I just checked it yesterday. We have 211. It's lower than this just slightly. But I got to confess, I've not done anything in these past 6 months to really promote it or market it either. So, that's 6 months of stagnicity, and I've still got 211 people, which is pretty damn incredible, right? So let's share with you how that works and what makes a customer stick and why is it. There's 5 key points that I think that are there. Here's the 5 points. Number 1, it's got to be simple to use. It's got to be priced nicely. You've got to give people a lot of rewards for staying members with you. You've got to be able to let them know that there's better things around the corner, so they always want to stay a member. And then most importantly, you have to have original content. So let's talk a little bit about original content. There's a couple of things here that the original content has to place. I would say there's probably 3 big things. Number 1, it has to be original. It can't be a knockoff hack product that you can just get for free anywhere else. I'm going to give you a tour of my membership site here, and I'll show you some stuff. I'll even give you a couple like demonstrations on it. And the stuff that I'm going to show you, you can't find in any other speaker training out there. For the main reason that, number one, I kind of came up with the concept of it. Now, I'm not trying to toot my own horn there, but, the reality is there's a lot of people that just like to teach other people's stuff. I think that's fine if you're certified to do that, if you've taken a training program. Hell, I used to teach NLP training, so I was teaching other people's stuff all the time, but I had the certificate to do it. But now that I'm just teaching presentation skills, I don't want to go steal other people's content. I want to come up with my own concepts, my own theories. So number one, it's got to be original. Number two, it's got to be specific. Why specific? Here's why. We live in a culture nowadays that is no longer willing to tolerate a generic answer for a specific problem. They just don't have it. If you're sick, you don't get onto Google and go, I'm sick. Find me a doctor. You get onto WebMD, you say, green snot coming out of my nose, pain in my left part of the chamber of my chest, and I've got blue teeth. I don't know, whatever it is, right? And you're going to type in those symptoms to find out what specifically you have going on with you. We don't try to have a one-size-fit-all culture anymore. We've become spoiled. We realize now that there is an abundance of information out there, and most of it is for free. So when you're delivering your content, yeah, it's got to be original, but you got to also make sure that it's so specific that it's either hard to find or not easy to find for free. So, a membership on personal motivation is probably not going to sell very well. However, if you do realize this one concept, and the concept is this: while people don't tolerate generic answers for specific problems, to this day people will pay anything for a specific solution to a specific problem. So, for example, my membership site is all about speakers. So if you're a professional speaker and you want to increase your business, that's why you would join the membership site. My membership site is not designed for people who just want to learn how to get better at speaking and don't really, have a job doing it. Because the information inside the membership site is how do you generate revenue? How do you build your business? So it's only going to appeal to people who really realize that they do become better when they increase their skills, their business acumen, their health, and all of that aspect with regard to just being a speaker. So it's got to be specific. So you've got to have original content. It has to be specific. And the third thing is it has to be delivered in an entertaining way, which is, by the way, where I do need to kind of step aside here from talking about membership sites and tell you that if you're sitting there going, well, I'm not a professional speaker, I just want to have a membership site. Let me tell you something. If your membership site has you on audio, like I'm giving you right now, an audio webinar, or if it has you on video where you're standing up in front of a camera and presenting content, if you're delivering content either through spoken word or through video as you speak, you're a professional speaker. And I got to tell you something, it's important. You need to invest your money in getting trained in how to do it effectively. I'll give you a great example. I'm a member of a membership site right now, which is all about how to generate unsecured loans and lines of credit for your business. And the website or the membership site specifically is how you can generate at least $600,000, at least $100,000 in unsecured credit within 6 weeks. And I signed up. Now there was options. I could have paid like a payment plan or just pay it all up front. I did the pay it all up front deal, and I will tell you that if I could cancel, I would cancel. Because the information is totally original. It's really good. The content is very specific to my specific needs. But the third option, it's so god-awful. It's so boring that I dread getting on the membership site to get the information because it's like having teeth pulled. I just hate it. So you've got to make sure that you've also got to deliver it in a way that gets people wanting to come back. So don't for a second underestimate the importance of your ability to present your content in a way which is entertaining and engaging. You have to have that. So having said that, there's my little preach to you. You got to be original, all right? It's got to have original content, original delivery, specific delivery, and entertaining in its own right as well. So now let me give you a little tour here and show you what I mean by specific content, okay? So this is obviously now just related to my membership site, but I'm trying to give you a good example. So one of the specific problems that speakers face in the speaking world is booking venues. And if you've ever booked a venue on your own, by the way, you'll know this. You should never, ever book a venue sight unseen. Never do it off their websites because they lie on their pictures and their videos. They always make them look better than they are. So you should always do what we call an on-site inspection. But here's the problem. The problem is When you do an on-site inspection, it takes a lot of time and it can even take a lot of money because sometimes you might have to fly out to the city, tour the place, take a look at it, and if it's not you, you have to hire somebody else to do it for you. It takes a lot of time. Even if you don't have to fly, you might have to drive all the way across town and you have to deal with traffic, and that's time that you could be spent doing something else. So it's always a pain in the butt to do an on-site inspection. So there was one thing I thought, okay, well, there's a specific problem. How can I solve that? So here's what I did. If you look, this is the inside guts of my membership site, by the way. And I'm going to scroll over here to the venue review. The venue review is a way for you to do an on-site inspection to a hotel. And I've gone through, I've got 5 different countries. I think we got over 300 hotels right now. I'm just going to open up one here. This is the Strand Palace Hotel in London. And you can see there's quite a few things we have here. I've got a link to the website of the actual hotel to save them some time there, but we don't recommend you use that too well. I've got a scoring system from 1 to 5 stars in terms of all of the things that are important to a speaker, ceiling height, all that kind of stuff. But then I also have created a cool video where I've gone through the entire hotel.
Okay, coming down
I'm not going to go through the whole
Palace
thing here.
Hotel now. This is their conference area. This is an old, reliable place. I've done loads of events here. If you have to do like a week-long event or something like that, this is a pretty cool place, especially if you need privacy.
All right, you get the idea, right? So now I walked through that whole hotel through the eyes of a professional speaker, not a salesperson. So I'm telling him, oh, here's the ceiling height, here's the beams, look out for this. Oh, there's a mirror on stage, so if you light the stage, you're going to blind your audience, and the mirrors, you've got to tape those up. Oh, there's a kitchen on this side of the wall. Don't do a weight loss program if there's a kitchen next door because they're going to be smelling food the whole time. Things that most speakers don't even think about, but with my 24 plus years knowledge in professional speaking, I know what to look for. And so there's a great example of a specific solution. In fact, it goes even more specific, by the way, because if you look here, I'll show you something else. I have their capacity chart. If you click this little link here, you can download. I've already taken all their brochures and scanned them in. So I've got their floor plans. You can scroll down even further here. I've got their capacity charts that say how many people are in each room for all the different things. I mean, this stuff is hard to find on a hotel website, and I've already taken the time to do that for you and really save you a tremendous amount of time. So when you look at that one feature, and by the way, that's just one feature inside the membership site. If you are I have seminar companies who are part of my membership site, and all they want is that one thing. They've joined it because that's what they want, because they understand the value of how much time and money that saves them. In fact, I can see Nick actually wrote a question. He says, I don't need, he says, I'm already a professional speaker. I don't need skills in training. I don't need advice in training. I just want the venue review. Can I sign up for that? Yes, you can. If you want just the venue reviews, Nick, you can have that. It's $47 a month, and then I'm going to give you everything else for free. How's that? Because think about it. I mean, that's got to be worth $47 a month anyway. So there's your deal. I'll give you everything for free. This one piece is $47 a month. All right, so it's got to be original. It's got to be specific, and you've also got to deliver it in a good way. Let me give an example. In fact, let me just play a video real quickly here. These are the videos, like we have different videos every single week that we release. I'm just going to play this one for you. I think it'd be a good example. This lasts, I don't know, about 15 minutes, and it's really good content with regard to what every professional speaker, quite frankly, really needs to know. So consider this a little bonus in the webinar, a webinar inside a webinar, if you will. Hi, welcome to another webisode of Bulletproof Speaking Videos. I've got one of the best pieces of advice I can give you on platform skills here today. It's also one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received myself. So let me tell you all about it. I'm going to do so through sharing with you a story. You see, this advice came to me a couple years back through a private group that I belong to, where about once a month we get together and we practice our presentations. We give feedback to one another from professional speaker to another professional speaker. Probably some of the best feedback I ever get comes from this group of people that I hang out with. Well, one day I'm doing my presentation and I got a piece of feedback that frankly I hated. I'm going to share it with you anyway. And I'm going to share it with you as I got it, and I'm going to actually demonstrate what I did to get the feedback. Are you ready? Here it is. The part of my presentation went like this. How many here have someone in your life that you care about so much you would do anything for? Like I'm talking about the kind of person that you would do anything for. Like if they got on the phone and they called you right now, you would drop everything and go. You would even leave work if you had to. If you needed to miss work, you would do it because you love this person so much. The kind of person that if they called you in the middle of the night, you wouldn't care. If they said, it's an emergency, I gotta have you here, you'd do it. Not everybody has somebody like that, but how many here have a friend, somebody that you care about, that maybe it could be a relative as well, but somebody that you love and admire? How many have somebody like that? Not everybody does, by the way, and not everybody can raise their hand honestly on that one. And if you can't, that's fine too. But let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be great if that somebody that you were just thinking of right now was yourself? You know, I've been asking that question for almost 6 years, and to this date, nobody's actually been thinking of themselves when they ask that. All right, that's the little vignette. That's not the finished product, it's not the end product, not the whole thing, but you get the idea. Here was the feedback I got from one of the gentlemen in the audience. Don't ask that question about whether or not you have somebody in your life that you love and you care about, because frankly, you don't care about the answer, so don't insult our intelligence. That's the feedback he gave me. Now, admittedly, I was a little pissed off. I didn't appreciate that feedback at all. But then again, I had to accept it. And the reason for that is because I believe that feedback only works if you use it. So I had to ask myself, God, is there any validity to that at all? And you know what? After I just calmed down a little bit and I looked into it, I had to realize something. You know what the truth is? I really don't care. And I didn't like that, because I was sitting there going, I care about my people. I care about them. That's what makes me different than all the other speakers that are out there, is I truly care, and I really believe that, and I do care. But do I care if somebody answers that question with raising their hand and giving me a yes or no? No, I don't. Do you know why I don't? Because I'm going to continue with my presentation regardless. One person could raise their hand, everybody could raise their hand. It's not going to interrupt my flow. I already know what I'm going to say, and it's not going to be impacted by whether or not they raise their hand. And all of a sudden I had to ask myself, do I really care? And the answer to me was no. And I did not like that, but it was true. So here's the suggestion that I'm going to give you. Don't ask questions of your audience that you don't care about the answer to. We've all seen them. The motivational speakers that are out there that say, raise your hand, say yes or no, and they get all the audience into raising their hand and chanting yes and saying yes. It's the majority of the motivational speakers that are out there. But I would question whether or not it's what you should be doing. Certainly not what I want to do anymore. Now, by the way, admittedly, old habits die hard, and I still do ask questions from time to time, but I'm doing my best to break myself of that now. And I do it for 2 reasons, and here they are. Are you ready? Reason number 1. You don't need to get audience buy-in on every single thing. I get it, by the way. I understand why speakers do it. They do this because they want to condition the audience to say yes to whatever the person on stage says, so that when they finally get to their sales pitch, everybody in the audience will rush like lemmings to go buy their product. Well, I have to ask myself, and I have to ask you this question as well. Is that in the best interest of the audience or the best interest of you? See, here's the thing. I think that if you want to ask the audience questions and get them to buy in, that's okay if you're doing it for their benefit and their interest. But if you're doing it simply to increase and fulfill your pocketbook, I'd have to question whether that's morally appropriate. Yeah, it might increase your sales, but is it the right thing to do? I would have to question that. You know, fundamental rule as a professional speaker, we don't sell hope to the hopeless. And if you're doing that to just get people to go buy at all cost, you may not be having their best interest at hand. So I want to encourage you to take a good, long, honest look inside your heart and your soul and ask yourself why you're really asking those people the questions. And is it to manipulate them, to get them to buy in? Or is it because you really care? I doubt it's because you really care. I really doubt that you care about the answer, whether or not they say yes or no. You're doing it probably for 2 reasons. Number 1, you want them to buy in, or the second reason. And by the way, if you don't want to do this simply because of that first reason, you go, no, I don't care. I want them to say yes. I want them to comply so they can follow me. Okay, that's fine. Here's the other reason why I don't think you should do it. By doing it, you look like everybody else. Now, you might be sitting there going, that's okay. I like those speakers. I want to be like them. Let me ask you this. Do you really? You know, I'll give you a great example. If you know me personally, you know that I'm a huge fan of Apple products. I've got an iPhone, I've got a Mac PowerBook, I've got an iMac at the office. I do nothing but Macs, man. I love them, okay? And what's funny is I see these commercials right now on the TV for smartphones that are trying to be as good as the iPhone. In fact, by the way, some of them are saying that they're better, like the Android or the HTC. I don't know exactly which one it is, but they're comparing themselves to the iPhone. In fact, they even have quotes, better than the iPhone, faster than the iPhone, and they have all these quotes. Here's the thing. You know what? Those phones actually might be more powerful than the iPhone. They might be better than the iPhone. But as long as they're continually comparing themselves to the iPhone, they're always going to be number two. They're always going to be second place. Do you honestly really want people coming up to you and saying, oh, you remind me of so-and-so? Or would you like them to come up and say, I've never heard that before? You know, one of the other reasons why people insist on asking their audience questions is because they feel that it engages the audience and they stay active. In fact, there's actually a trainer out there right now that teaches their speakers in training. They say you have to interrupt their pattern every 7 minutes. You have to get them to stand up, move around, do something interesting every 7 minutes because they're going to lose attention. My thinking to that is, wouldn't it be better to just be entertaining? You know, do you need to stand up and run around every 7 minutes when you're watching a movie? No. Do you have to stand around and run up and jump around every 7 minutes when you're listening to your favorite album? No. Album. Who listens to albums anymore? You know what I mean, though. The fact of the matter is, if you're entertaining, people are going to pay attention anyway. I'm going to encourage you to break the mold of the traditional 1980s motivational speaker. They had their time. They did very well, and that was in that time frame. I think we're ready for a whole new level of sophistication in this business, and I think we can start by stop insulting the intelligence of our audience and stop asking them questions that, frankly, you don't care about the answer to anyway. Now, I know you might not be liking this advice right now. You might be sitting there going, no, 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 this is what I wanted to do. I was one of the people in the audience, and I love that inspiration. Listen, you don't need to be like other people. You can find your own voice. You can find your own personality. And if your personality is the kind that gets people to agree and to buy in, that's fine. Just make sure it's done for the right reasons. All right? Now, let's wrap this up here real quickly, because how did I finish that presentation? Like, how did I change it to where I don't have to insult the audience's intelligence by asking them a rather obvious question, or for that matter, even making them feel bad if they can't raise their hand? How have I solved that? Well, I'm going to give you the presentation now as I do it currently based upon the feedback I got. So here we go. Are you ready? You know, I'm going to bet that if I were to ask everybody in the audience right now, do you have somebody in your life that you would do anything for? You know the kind of person I'm talking about, right? That kind of person that if they called you up on the phone right now and said, I need you here, you would drop everything and go. Like, even if it meant missing work, you would do that. You would actually miss work, take a cut and pay to go help out your friend. They call you in the middle of the night, you're going to get up and you're not going to complain about it. You're going to be there because you love them, because they're your teammate. That's how important they are to you. I'm going to guess, if I asked everybody in the audience right now, do you have somebody in your life like that? The majority of you would be able to raise your hand. Some of you wouldn't, by the way, and that's okay too. But my question for you is this. Wouldn't it be great if that person that you were thinking of just then as I was talking about that, wouldn't it be great if the person that you were thinking of was yourself? You know, in the 8 years that I've been asking people that question, not one person has ever been able to come up to me at the end and say, I was. Most people are thinking about somebody else, and I think that's a shame. You know, I think that one of my objectives for today would be this. Like, if I could get nothing out of today, it would be this one thing. That if the next time somebody ever asks you, do you have somebody in your life that you do anything for? The first person you think about is yourself. So there you go. That's how I do it now without having to ask them insultingly obvious questions. All right, I hope you take this advice to heart. I really think that if you take this to heart, you apply it in your life, and you start asking the right questions at the right time, and you avoid asking the wrong questions at the right time or the wrong time, you're going to get some great results of this. You're going to be unlike anything people have seen out there, and instead of them coming up and saying, you remind me of so-and-so, they're going to come up and say, I've never heard that before. You're an original. That's my wish for you. Until next time, take care, dare to dream, and make each day an epic adventure. Bye for now. All right, so there's a sample of what I'm talking about when I say original content, and I understand, by the way, if you've never taken a professional speaker training course or a public speaking trainer course, you might not have any reference to go, oh, that doesn't sound that original to me. But it is. Trust me, it is. In fact, actually, I could show you a quote here from a professional speaker who's been to other speaker training programs as well, who I admire a great deal, by the name of James Laver out in the UK. You know, and he says, and this is a testimonial onside the website, by the way, so even people that are tuning in can see this, and it helps create the validity. It says, dude, this is game-changing stuff. Thank you. I know you know the power of what you've shared here, but I sincerely hope that others watching this are able to assimilate the learnings from this video. A lot of folks think that change happens slow. Well, I can tell you where I am now is versus where I was 12 minutes ago is light years apart. That's huge, right? And to get that kind of stuff, you won't get those kind of quotes if you're sitting there trying to just be a copy of a copy and grab a lot of stuff offline and or online and trying to piece it together. So it does have to be original, got to deliver it in a good way, and it's got to have a specific solution involved with it as well. All right, so I think we've talked about enough original content. Let's get into now and talk a little bit about simple to use. You've seen now the format of it. I'll just kind of give you a real quick layout here. If you look closely, you can see that basically I've got a menu bar across the top. Now this is default setup for the program or the system that I use, and it's real clearly laid out with regard to all of the different options that are there. Now, the other thing that it offers is it also offers the graphics down below. So if you scroll down and you look in the other side down here, well, it's the exact same thing. So the home go for here first, the living ebook, the bulletproof video, all that stuff is the same thing that's across the tabs. Now, you don't have to set it up that way, but I've set it up that way to where really, if they're more of a left brain person and they read the tabs, or if they're more of a right brain person and they look for the pictures, it's still going to take them to the exact same place. So you want to make sure that when they get on there, there's really no way they can screw it up or get lost. And that's what I love about the system that I use. Even though, like I said, I'm not selling it here today. I'm a big fan of it. I'll tell you what that is as we get into the other aspects of it. But I think it does bear mentioning that you've got to make sure that it's easy for your clients to use. If they have to get instructions, it just becomes too much of a hassle. So what are the ones that are easy to use? Well, first off, let me tell you this. The one thing you do not want to do is pay a web programmer to design a membership site for you. You're getting ripped off because, number one, they're probably not going to make it easier for you to use with uploading the content. You got to remember, nowadays, a lot of web programmers, I'm probably going to piss a few off that are listening, but a lot of site designers now, they don't design sites for the use of the customer. And they don't even design sites for the ease of use of the owner of the website. They design sites in a way that make it required that if any changes need to be made, the owner has to call the web designer back up and make the changes. And you don't have to do that anymore. We live in the land of plug and play. Once it's set up, it's ready to go. So here are some great plug and play membership sites. Wishlist is a very popular one for people who use WordPress websites, because Wishlist can integrate perfectly into WordPress. So that's a good one. There's Optimized Press, which is a pay one time. It's fairly limited in what it can do. You've got Customer Hub, which is a really good one to use if you use the Infusionsoft CRM system. The challenge that I have with the CRM system, with Customer Hub, is that it's not very user-friendly. And so it does have, in fact, I'll tell you, there's some bonuses to it I'll tell you about here in a second, but let's just go through the list here. There's another one called MemberSmart Pro, which is actually free. This is a great sales pitch. It's free if you join their membership site. So they have a membership site on how to have a good membership site. And then when you join it, you get their membership site software for free, which is really brilliant when you think about it, because then once you're using their system, you'll stay a member of their site for a long time. The 400-pound gorilla, the one that seems to be making the biggest impact, at least at the time that we created this webinar, is Kajabi. And that's the one that I've used. That's the one that you've been seeing here on my demonstrations. I like Kajabi. I've used Customer Hub. I'm not a fan of Customer Hub from its ease of use, whereas I am a fan of Kajabi for its ease of use. But you've got to remember, the easier a plug-and-play program is to use, the more limited it's going to be with regard to what you want it to do. So are there things that Kajabi can't do that I want it to do? Absolutely. So for example, Customer Hub, which works really great with Infusionsoft. By the way, Kajabi does integrate with Infusionsoft as well, but not as well. Customer Hub, what's really great about them is that if your customer has a credit card that expires or gets declined, they're immediately locked out of the membership site, whereas Kajabi, they can still get in. And what Customer Hub will do is it sends them to a page where they can update their credit card information automatically. That all works. With Kajabi, you get an email says their credit card was declined, then you've got to manually shut them out, and you've got to go chase down the money. That's the one thing that I don't like about Kajabi, and I really hope that someday they fix that to work just like Customer Hub does. So anyway, there's a couple things. And by the way, I think I have affiliate links for just about every one of these. So if you do want to purchase any of these, hey, send me an email, help a brother out, right? I'll send you my affiliate link and I'll take some cheddar, please. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk now a little bit about how to price it. And this is a fairly quick one as well. The reality is this. You've got two ways to think about it. Number one, if the price is low, they probably aren't going to value it as much, but they're going to stay members a lot longer because they're just going to kind of be numb to it with regard to their automatic billing, and they're not going to worry about it. So the less you charge, the more likely they are to stay a member for longer. The flip side of that, by the way, is that if the price is high, they're more apt to value it, and they're going to use it because they want to get their money's worth. However, they are going to cancel a lot sooner because if they don't use it, they're like, oh, I'm paying for something I'm not using. There's a fine balance. We selected a $47 price range. We figured that was pretty good to where even if they don't use it for a couple of months, as long as they have access to the information that they haven't looked at yet, they'll still be okay with that. And honestly, I got to tell you, I don't know if we've made the right call. Maybe we should do 37 or 27 or something like that. But we seem to be doing good. We seem to have a pretty high stick rate. So we're sticking with the $47 price range. If we went lower, we would have even less people cancel. But God, when you only have 14 people cancel out of a 30-day trial, hey man, I'd say we're doing something right. So we're just sticking with the 47 price. My thinking is this, by the way. The reality is I'd rather have fewer customers that are loyal than a ton of customers that just don't care. So for me, I'm of the value that, let's make them value the product. Let's make them pay for it and get some work out of it. Rather than just charge them such a low amount that it goes under the radar and they just don't think to cancel. My thing is this. I don't want people's money that don't want me to have it. But if they want me to have it, I happily take it. So for me, somebody just forgetting that they're paying for it and not using it every month is just about the same as somebody who really doesn't want me to have it. So, I'm happy with the 47 price range, but you really got to evaluate and ask yourself, what's the value of the service that you give? So one of the things that somebody told me when I first started this was, in order to make sure that they stay active, you have to give them about 10 times the value. So in other words, they've got to get $470 worth of value every month out of my program in order to keep paying $47, which is really weird. You think they'd be happy to get $47 worth, but no. So we're constantly trying to stick right around that $500 value every single month, ideally even every single week. We try to give them a real high content, high value bit of information to where then they know at the end of the month, hey, I got my money's worth. So that's our philosophy. That's our theory, I guess. We're sticking with it. All right. So that's in the area of pricing. The next one is loyalty rewards. And with loyalty rewards, this is something that I came up with inspired by an offhanded comment that Nick James had made after I spoke with him and told him I only had 14 cancellations. God, now that I say that, was it Nick James or was it Dan Bradbury? Let me give both of them credit. They're both good guys. I don't know. But I was having a conversation with one of them, and they made some offhanded comment like hey, you should really do something to thank the people who didn't drop out. And then when they said that, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So here's what we did. And this was an afterthought. We did it I think we do it on day 35, by the way, not day 31, just because there's a couple people that get a little pissy because they forgot to cancel. And then on day 32, they saw their credit card charged, and then they call up and go, I don't want to get charged for that. And for some reason, personal accountability means nothing in the world of business nowadays. So to get rid of those people, I think it's at 35 days. What we did is we created this bonus. So this is a loyalty bonus. So if you scroll over and we go down here to bonuses, there's a thing called loyalty reward number 1. And I'll just read it real quickly here. It says, anytime you create a membership such as Bulletproof Speaker Training, it's bound to attract a large percentage of people who just sign up for the bonuses with every intention of canceling immediately after they've looked around. Typically, these anticipated cancellations account between 30 to 60% of the signups. I think it says 60%. I'm not wearing my glasses. Yeah, it says 60%. So you can appreciate how happy I was to see you stay with the program and continue your membership. So it was a special thank you for deciding to stay with the Bulletproof Speaking Training, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it goes on to basically say, I'm giving you one of my best-selling programs, Verbal Aikido, for free. Normally, it's a physical product. We sell it for $47 online. But for you today, you can have the entire product downloaded. And if you look, then there's this place where you can actually download the entire product. Now, think this through, right? So the membership site is $47 a month. They paid $5 for the first month. Now they just got charged over $47 for the second month. But I just gave them a product that if they bought it online would cost them $47. So the way they look at it, they're like, well, you know, this is kind of a free one anyway. So it's incentivizing them to stay in. It's building that reciprocity. And to me, it kind of almost seemed like just a pretty easy, basic thing to do. And then I got this testimonial from this guy. I'll just read it for you here real quickly. If you look, it's from a guy named Darren, whom I'm thinking, by the way, is probably older than his avatar likes to reflect. But nonetheless, it says, Topher, that little email you sent with the bonus revealed inside made me think that it was a nice touch. I've created 7 membership sites using the same platform that you use, plus the same CRM system. Yet we've never done what you did after the first subscription date passed. But one thing for sure, I'm going to emulate the idea from now on. What I've learned from your little token of generosity has made it even more useful to remain a part of your community. Well done. Now think about this. So Darren here, he's got 7 membership sites. If he's charging anywhere from $10 to $50 a month for each one of those membership sites, and he picks up this little gem from me inside here, now he's just justified paying for his membership for like, what, 6 months or a year if just one person stays on to his for all 7 of them. So, you know, it's those kind of things that make a big difference, in my opinion. Fast forward to 6 months, we created a 6-month loyalty reward, which was pretty cool. So one of the things that the people got, and if you want to take advantage of it, we'll give it to you as well, is that when you sign up for the $5 trial, we give you the Mental Game of Life Home Study DVD course for free online. We talked about that at the beginning of this program. That's how you're going to get it. Well, along with that product for $700, there's another product for $100 called the Seminar Supplement, which is all the meditations and all the things to like put into place what you learn in the event. And we sell that online for $100, actually $97. So at 6 months, we give them this product in physical form. We don't even have them do a download. We actually give them the physical product and ship it to their house with a little print up that, you know, has it wrapped in a bow, and it's like a gift. Now think about this. So at 6 months, they get this. The first month was $5. They have 5 months where they pay $47. The first month, they got a free gift of $47. Now, 6 months later, they're getting a product that's worth 2 months. So they've paid $47 for 5 months, but 3 of those months, they got another free $47 gift if you kind of map it out that way. So you should always be thinking about asking yourself, how can I make sure that I reward my customers so well that it literally pays for itself to sign up and stay a member? And that's kind of our goal for that one. We even have a 12-month bonus, by the way. But if you want to know what the 12-month bonus is, you're just going to have to sign up and be a member for 12 months to find out what it is. All right, let's move on here. We're going to talk about teasing the future. Teasing the future is all about finding a way to make sure that if they're considering leaving, they'll hang on for just one more week, or they'll hang on for just one more month. And there's several ways that you can tease the future. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to play for you a video that talks about the concept of teasing the future, so I can kind of demonstrate it and kind of teach at the same time. So a webinar within a webinar, if you will, I guess. But I want to share with you that this is the same technique or tactic that DJs and newscasters use all of the time to get you to listen past the commercials and stay around for the next one. So I'll give you an example here of how we tease the future. By playing a video, what I'll do is I'll play the first half, I'll edit it, not even the first half, just the first 30 seconds or something, and then we'll go on to it. So let me just hit play here real quickly. Hi, and welcome to another webisode of Bulletproof Speaker Training. We're going to talk about a business building strategy here for you today, and it's all about how to get multiple bookings. You know, speakers are always after those elusive speaking gigs, and when they get them, they're so thrilled, and they love to find a way to get more than one. In fact, you know, as speakers, we all understand the importance of creating reoccurring revenue. I want you to start thinking in your mind that a speaking gig is a potential reoccurring revenue. That's how I like to look at it, at least. Every time I get a gig, I look at that as a potential to get 2, 3, 4, or maybe even more speaking gigs out of them. But most speakers, when they do get a speaking gig, they behave in the exact opposite way to ever help that become a multiple booking. What do I mean? All right, you guys get the idea. So I'm not going to go through the whole process here. I'm going to fast forward now to the end of the video and show you how we tease the future. These are very simple techniques, and I'm calculated about them all because I'm seeing that one gig as a possible who knows how many other gigs. If you do these things, heck, if you even just do a few of these things, by the way, you can't help but to get more bookings because nobody else is doing it. Think about it. Be methodical. In fact, here's the thing. Stop thinking of a speaking gig as the finish line. Think of the speaking gig as the stepping stone. And it's a time for you to market yourself to the masses. And if you start looking at that, every single presentation lets you market more and more and more. It's kind of like compounding interest for speaking gigs. It's a great deal. All right. Check this out. Go for it. You're going to be surprised at how much easier it is to get multiple bookings from it. All right, here's the tease. All right, now you want to stay tuned because on the next webisode, I'm going to share with you, by the way, how to save over $500 on every single seminar that you conduct. This one tip alone is going to pay for your entire Bulletproof Speaker Training membership for over a year. So you definitely want to stick around with that one, all right? Until then, please take care, dare to dream, and make each day an epic adventure. Bye for now. All right, so there you go. So by me telling them what video is going to be released the following week, just in case they were thinking about dropping out this week, they go, well, geez, maybe I should stick around for one more week to find out what's coming up in that next program. And so, and I didn't do this in the beginning. We started it maybe about a month or two into it, and then I realized, God, I should be doing this every single week to tease them onto it. So you got to tease your content. Another way you can tease the content, by the way, is depending upon how your system is set up. If you look through here, let me go back and I'll show you another one of these videos. I'll scroll down to things that aren't released yet. So if you look now, this one here that's shaded out, it says how to be entertaining and keep them watching. This one's available in 1 day. And if you scroll even lower, then the next one's available in like 7 days and 15 days and 21 days. And they can read the title, they can read the label, so they'll always know, even if they didn't watch the video, they can just go through and see that and go, okay, well now I can see what's coming up. Even though I don't care about this information this week, I really want the information for next week. So they stick around. So that's a great way to make sure that you're teasing them all the time, in a respectful way, obviously, but letting them know that, hey, there's more value coming down the road. And if you're not doing that, you're not keeping them and giving them a good enough reason to stay on the line. All right, so there you got 2 ways to tease the future. Number 1 is through the videos of the content, telling them what's going to be next, and then also on the display as well. Now, the next question is this, and this could be on the 5 things to make them sticky. The next thing is, when should you start? Well, the reality is you should start right now. Here's where most people get stuck with creating a membership site. They think they need to get all the content created before they start selling the membership site, and that is a fallacy. It's not true at all. The reality is, in terms of creating content for your membership site, you really don't need that much content at all. In fact, here's how much content you really need in order to start your membership site. Are you ready? 1 piece. That's it. You only need 1 single piece of content to get started. And here's why. Well, if you're anything like me, at least, usually I don't do stuff unless I have to. I like to think I'm really proactive, but the reality is I get a lot more done when it's necessary than when it's just kind of floating around. So here's the thing. If you have just 1 piece done, let me give you an example of this. Inside the membership, I'll kind of give you a little bit of history here. There's a thing in the membership site called a living ebook. Now, the reason we call it a living ebook is because it releases 1 chapter every single week. Now, I created this ebook before I actually started the membership site. So to be fair, this was all done, but this is how I got this book done. I advertised this book and I had this chapter done and that was it, the intro. That was all I had written. I had no idea what else was going to be in the ebook. And all I did is I started advertising this ebook saying, sign up right now and you'll get a new chapter every single week for the next, I don't know how many weeks, right? And I didn't know what content would be there, but I knew I had plenty of content to provide. I just hadn't put it in written format yet. And so all I did is I had that 1 chapter that you just saw done. I advertised it. I got 100 and some, 200, 300. Eventually, before the book even got done, I had over 1,000 people signed up for it. And I got to tell you something. If you start selling your membership site, you've got your first week of content finished, I can promise you this. If you've got 188 people signed up for your membership site and you only have 1 week of content done, you will guarantee yourself that you're going to be up real late at night if you have to get that content done for the second week and the third and the fourth. Believe me. In fact, when I got my entire membership site, when I started it, the only thing I actually had done was this ebook, because it took me about a year to get the ebook done. And then I finally started, I should start the membership site. So in fact, here, I'll show you exactly, if you look real quickly here from a marketing perspective, all right? Because you have to market, obviously. Let me show you how we market this. So the first thing that we do is we have this ebook, and that's it. So we have people able to sign up for the ebook right away. And I only had one chapter done. And I knew that I had to get them all done. Now, we've got this set up to where they can get this chapter, they can fill it out. Like I'll just fill out a sample here like Mr. Sample Smith. I'll show you how it works. You just sign up. I am skipping a step in this video, by the way, because I already know what the password is, but they send you the password. So log in, set up a time. Let's see, I live in Mexico. I don't know. Here we go. And this is the free version of the membership site that has the living ebook in it, and that's it. But even still now, like now once it's all done, that living ebook, it's still in a living format, meaning they still get 1 week a month. So if you click onto that, you'll see, and once again, you can click the tab or the picture. It doesn't really matter because we keep it simple. The only thing that's available is that introduction. Now, the only way they get access to chapter 1 all the way through to the following page, like chapter 22 or 23 or something like that, the only way they get that is they finish the double opt-in and they get the access password for that. And now, the other thing, by the way, the really cool thing I love about Kajabi is that you can also use it for an upsell. So, for example, you saw there it said Legacy Mentoring. I'm not going to click or bother with it now, but if they were to click on that, then it would say you have an option to upgrade to the $47 a month version, and then you can have access to all these new things as well. And the only reason, I haven't really utilized that to much of my advantage yet. I've actually got to set that all up so that when you log in, you can see all the tabs, and then you just click on them, and they always tease you with that. I haven't done that yet, but once again, here's the thing. Hopefully it's a lesson for you. You don't have to have it done in order to start selling it. I'm still developing things for the membership site as we go. So you really just got to get that one piece of content done, start advertising it, and then the public pressure will make sure that you actually get your work done. Because if you wait to get it all done before you release it, chances are you're going to fall like 85 to 95% of the population. You'll never get it done in the first place. So you do need to make sure you just get it out there. In terms of getting it out there, by the way, you've got to spread your message all over the place. So, you know, we're like now we've released these webinars. And so obviously at the end of this webinar, I'll give you my little song and dance for this membership site, which I really don't have to do much because you've already seen most of it anyway. But, the purpose of these webinars is to give great value, great content, let people know that I know what I'm talking about, to the where then if they want to give it a trial, they can. And the interesting thing is, up until now, this is up until the this webinar series, the only way you could ever get the $5 trial was if you came to one of my live events. So this is a great way now to really start multiplying the message and getting it out there. Our goal is to get 400 members by the end of the year. And I think with these webinars, you hopefully will hit that mark pretty well. So you got to advertise them online, but you also want to make sure you take advantage of your social networks. But when you advertise with social networks, I got to tell you, the key with that is you have to be unique. You really, the one thing that most people make mistakes on is they use like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that for the purpose of getting people to buy stuff. Don't. All right, that's a mistake. You have to remind yourself that, the environment that's created inside social networks is an environment of give me something for free. So when you try selling something in an environment where people expect something for free, it very rarely pays off. I know people who've wasted tens of thousands of dollars buying ads on social networks to sell product when you shouldn't. What you should do, if you're going to get an ad for a social network, is advertise something free, because that's their mentality. Then once they're in a new environment, then you can train them and condition them to the notion of having to pay for something. But beyond that, the advertising has to be unique. If you look at what's spread around social networks more than anything, it's usually funny, stupid stuff. So frankly, the funnier and the more stupid you can be in your advertising, the more it's probably going to spread. So I'll give you an example of one of the ads that we do that created quite a few buzz. In fact, this one's had over 10,000 views, I think, on YouTube, because we just try to be funny and don't take ourselves too seriously. So here's one of the commercials that I did to promote the Bulletproof Speaker Training membership site. Hey everybody, welcome to another Bulletproof Speaker Training video. Listen, I've got a real quick one for you here today, and this is how to avoid looking like a pasty white zombie, how to have balanced skin tones. All right, here you go. Are you ready? There's going to be two types of people watching this video, women and men. I'm not trying to stereotype or typecast, but the reality is the women will probably get this a little bit quicker than the men. Are you ready, guys? Wear makeup. All right, here's the deal. You got to have some kind of foundation, some kind of powder, or something like that to balance out the skin. You don't have to go fancy. You don't have to hire a makeup artist every time you do it, but you do have to go get the right type of makeup, and you got to know what you're doing, because if you try doing it yourself and you don't know what you're doing, you might just end up looking like Natalie Portman on The Black Swan. Not everybody can pull this look off. I can, but you won't. Yeah, that just happened. See the sacrifice I make for you? Listen, if you want a lot more information in terms of like what type of makeup and who to go to for that makeup and who to go to for the advice on how to apply the makeup, check out bulletproofspeaking.com. We go into a lot more detail there. It's a great website. It's a membership portal for professional speakers to help you guys go home every night knowing your calendar is filled full of engagements, your bills are paid, and most importantly, there's money left over in the bank. It's a great website with a lot of great information that you don't hear from traditional speaking companies. You know, to this day, most speaker training programs are still teaching a training model that's almost 40 years old. Listen, we're going to break out of that 1980s motivational speaker. We're going to give you some new cutting-edge skills, proven strategies that are going to help you to drive in more business. All right, until then, please take care, dare to dream, and make each day an epic adventure. Bye for now. Yo, not everybody can pull this look off, but I can. Is my crown straight? Ooh, girlfriend, don't laugh at me. I'm not going to say that. That'd make me look gay. Not everybody can pull this look off. I can, but you won't. I am so glad I'm not a chick. Do I have lipstick on my teeth? I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I just want to be perfect. All right, there you go. So hopefully you got a laugh out of that one. If nothing, you've learned that I'm a bit of a weirdo. So you got to be funny. You got to be entertaining. Over 10,000 hits, or just under 10,000 hits. I think we've already hit on that one. And that spreads the word like wildfire. So if you're going to use their social network sites, just use them in the right way and make sure you go to the mentality that they're looking for, because then people will talk about it. All right, I've got a lot of questions that have built up here. But before I get into those questions, I want to share with you guys a little bit about my membership site. And like I say, I don't have to spend a lot of time here because you already know quite a bit about it. But I do want to take just a few moments to share with you a little bit about the site before we finish this whole program. We have a program called Bulletproof Speaker Training. We also, by the way, we have another program called Legacy Speaker Training, which is a live program versus an on the internet type of a deal. If you're interested in the Legacy Speaker Training, you can go check that out at legacycertification.com. It is the creme de la creme of speaker training programs. So we break it down into 5 key areas. We break it down into platform skills to a live audience, platform skills to a virtual audience, speaking in front of a camera, in other words, teleprompter reading skills, how do you interview people, and how do you be interviewed as well. So those are all real important components with regard to becoming tomorrow's professional speaker. So if you want to check that out, you can. That's at legacycertification.com. But I'm not talking about that here today, and the reason for that is because most people would not sign up for it after just a simple webinar, because the price tag on that is 20 grand. Now, if you are absolutely committed in this next year to becoming a professional speaker where the mainstay of your income is generated from speaking, well, that's a great program, and it's absolutely worth every single penny. But I also wanted to create something that wasn't necessarily just that intense, because the challenge with that, obviously, is that most people, they want to attend it, but they can't afford the price tag. So I get that. I understand that for a lot of people, that's a big challenge. And so what we did is we wanted to create something which anybody could afford. So what we did is we created the Bulletproof Speaker Training membership site. And for the price of a modest dinner for two, $47 per month, you can get the information that you saw. You saw some samples in there. I'll go through all of the little points, but I'm going to really flash past them pretty quickly simply because you've already got an idea of it. But basically, it's a membership site designed specifically for people who want to learn how to speak. And I call that professional speakers. In other words, not just people who want to learn how to do a great wedding toast. Go to Toastmasters for that. But if you want to learn how to speak and get compensated for it, do audio, get compensated for it, something like that. No, it's a website specifically designed for you. It's a membership site designed for speakers by speakers. So you know that all of the content's going to be absolutely complete and total relevant to you. And the thing is that we've also created a really cool format for it. You saw the format. Basically, we have, here's the main areas. We have Speaker Secrets, which is the ebook that I showed you, the venue reviews, which I showed you. We have something called Legacy Mentoring. Now, I haven't talked about that yet. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Bulletproof Mentoring, and then our Bulletproof Training videos. You saw a few of those as well. So I'm going to just kind of zip through this. The Speaker Training Secrets, it's the speaker's ebook, and you get a different chapter every single week. Now, I will say that the one that's inside this membership program is different than the free version that I showed you. And the membership version, all of the stuff that's for sale inside the free version is actually free inside the membership site. So if you were to just, for example, just get the free ebook and then buy all of the stuff that's in the ebook that's speaker related, you'd end up spending, I think, close to $200. But if you join the membership site and you just keep your membership for 3 months, that's $47 a month, and you get all of that stuff for free. Now, I do need to say that there are things inside the ebook that I promote that are of other people's programs or products, which I can't give you those for free. And all of the stuff that's free is the speaker-related stuff. There's a few things that I talk about in there that our company has, but they're not speaker-related, so we don't give those away. But it's cheaper for you to just buy the membership for 3 months, get all the free stuff, and then cancel your membership if you wanted to do it that way. We talked about the venue reviews, saves time, saves money. We got 5 different countries right now. We're consistently growing all the time. In fact, I just booked a flight to Singapore. I'm going to stay there an extra day so I can do some more venue reviews. I have no life. We have another thing called Legacy Mentoring, which is all of our mentoring calls from our Legacy program, because that Legacy Speaker Training is a 1-year program, and we record all of the sessions, and then what we do is we play them back here. So while we don't let you partake in the actual webinars or teleconferences, we let you be a fly on the wall, which is really cool. So you're getting the same information from them. You just don't have the luxury of being able to ask questions of me directly with that. We also have a thing called Bulletproof Mentoring, which is a contest. This was actually the idea of one of our participants. And so we do a monthly contest now where you just write a little quick, 500 word or less why you'd like to get mentored by me. And you've got very good odds of winning it, by the way, because most people don't think to take the time to actually fill it out. So pretty much if you fill it out, you're almost guaranteed. I shouldn't say that because eventually we'll have enough members that that's not a guarantee. But right now, hey, sign up and you fill that out. You're probably going to get a 1-hour mentoring session from me pretty much right off the bat. We also have the Bulletproof Training videos. Those are the things I showed you, but I didn't go into detail with what we cover. So let me just share with you this. Each week there's a new video talking about some aspect of professional speaking, and we cover 4 main areas. So for example, on week 1, you're going to get business strategies. On week 2, you're going to learn about some type of gizmo or gadget, like maybe the microphone that I'm using to do this webinar, or a camera, or some software. The 3rd week, we talk about platform skills. So how do you make that presentation enjoyable to where people want to hear it or watch it? And then we also talk about speaker fitness. I gave you the example there about eating what you train with. So that was a speaker fitness tip as well. So each week you get a new video there, and it's only $47 a month. And just like we did on the launch, although the people on the launch actually got some additional things that we don't offer here, like all of those upsells and stuff, they're not here. But listen, I'm going to give you guys the same kind of a deal. If you go to tophermorrison.com/trial, or if you just click the link below that says I want the $5 trial, you can click that right now from the webinar. It'll pull you right into it, and you can just sign up for $5. And you can sign up and cancel the next day. You'll still have your active membership for the whole month. It works on a calendar basis, so whatever day you cancel, you still have it live until the end of that calendar month, and then there's no charge after that. But I think if you go in and you try it, you're going to probably find out, you know what, this is worth the $47. I mean, you're getting $470 worth of stuff every single month. That's my goal, at least when we create the weekly lesson plan. So $47 a month, and when you do that, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a chance. Anybody who signs up from the webinar, basically what will happen is we're going to open up a separate tab inside the program just for you guys, and you can have all of my videos to the mental game of life for free. We've uploaded them in streaming version. This is a $740 some odd product, and we give it away for free inside the membership, which is pretty cool. So, you might be sitting there going, well, I don't know that I really need or want to learn how to become a professional speaker. Just the value of these DVDs alone that you get on streaming video, that's worth the $5 right there, for crying out loud. So check that out. We'll give that to everybody for free when you just sign up. There's nothing you have to do. As soon as you click the trial link, it automatically knows that the package you're signing up for gets that specific tab opened up. And once again, we don't do it for $47 for the first month. We drop that down to a $5 trial. You figured that out already. We already told you from this whole program. So the first month, $5 trial, you cannot get that $5 trial, by the way, if you just go to bulletproofspeaking.com and sign up and then click the upsell button. You can only get that by either being on my initial launch, which we did, or by listening to these speaker webinar training series. So this is the only way you can get the $5 trial. It is not open to everyone. It's only open to the people that are courteous enough to listen through my whole jibber jabber about the webinar that we did here. So I want to thank you for that. It's $5, and you try it out for the first month. If you don't like it, just cancel before then. And by the way, just to let you know, I don't hide the cancellation process. It's actually on the front page when you sign up. It shows you exactly how to cancel if you want to. So it's not tricky. It's not tough. I told you guys before, my thing is I only want your money if you want me to have it. So if you don't want it, cancel it, and you can cancel it anytime. There's no contracts or anything like that. So I'd say, hey, give it a shot, especially if you're starting to create your membership site. You're going to need to learn how to be entertaining and engaging, and you want to use these strategies to make sure that when people are signing up for your membership site, they stick, because that's really what it's all about. So $5 for the first month. I know we've had loads and loads of questions here. There's no way, because I know I'm way over past my time frame anyway. There's no way that we're going to get through them all, but let me just kind of go through a couple of them here. I'm going to kind of scan through, and then I'll answer the rest of them later via email. Let's see here. Susan asked, this was toward the very beginning, she asked, how many hours a week do you spend on admin work for the membership site? Well, I've got a personal assistant who can help me, and she does all of the billing aspects. So I honestly don't know, but I would say she probably spends no more than 1 hour a month dealing with like the cancellations, updating the memberships, putting them, like suspending their accounts once they've canceled and things like that. So it's not a tremendous amount. I'd say maybe an hour. At the most, no more than 2 to 3 hours per month on her end of it. And then for me, the cool thing about Kajabi is that it's all very template driven. So once you design a template for one page, it duplicates on them all. So really then it's just about entering the content. So from an admin standpoint, if you want to include the production of the videos into that, what I do is I record 4 weeks of videos all in one day. So I sit in front of the camera. Well, I don't sit, I stand, but I stand in front of the camera and I'll record 4 weeks worth all at once. And it's a full day project for me to record the videos and edit them and get them uploaded. So basically 1 day a month I spend uploading 4 weeks worth of content for the membership site. But the cool thing about it, especially if your membership site has an expiration date, once you deliver the content once, you never have to deliver it again. So that's kind of cool. But mine's a lifetime thing, so it's never going to really run out. So I'm constantly challenging myself to come up with new content. So every 4 weeks, I spend 1 full day delivering new video content. We're looking at creating a new program for the 1-year veterans, which will be speaker interviews, where I interview famous professional speakers. We haven't set that up yet, and that'll be another full day. So I'd say I spend 2 full days, or eventually we'll spend 2 full days doing admin work per month. I know that wasn't your question per week, but I can't really break it down per week, so I hope that helps. All right, let me look at some other questions here. Tom asked, do you recommend offering different pricing packages? It depends upon your product and your service, but I think it could be a very intelligent thing. Most successful business models have tiered packages that allow you to do it. One of the things that we eventually will do, we don't have it right now, is we're eventually going to have a lifetime membership option. So when people finally decide to buy it, they click the $5 trial or they just sign up for the regular $47 a month. There's going to be an option where it says, hang on, if you like, rather than do $47 a month, you can sign up right now for a lifetime membership. And the lifetime membership will most likely be the price of like maybe a 1-year membership. And the reason we haven't done that yet is because we're still gathering all of the numbers and the averages to find out what our average lifetime is of a customer. So for example, if you have 200 people sign up and at the end of 1 year you have only 100 people who are members, then the average lifetime membership of a person is 6 months. So if you just know statistically that people are going to last for 6 months, well then it would make sense to sell them a lifetime membership up front for the price of 1 year, because you've just now doubled the lifetime membership. So we're currently gathering all of that stats. Once we have that, we are going to offer that pricing package as well, which I think is a great idea. It definitely can help drive in additional revenue there. Will asks, can you broadcast emails from Kajabi? You know what? I use this. I integrate it with my Infusionsoft, so I don't do broadcast emails from Kajabi. I do know that it just came out with a function where when you add new content, it does send out a bulk message to all of the people if you set it up that way. But I don't know exactly what you mean by broadcast messages. Oh, let's see here. People selling me stuff. Ken asked if the upsell system is on Kajabi is so good, why haven't you used it yet? Well, fair question. I think I kind of just explained that because we're trying to find the lifetime value on that one. And also, just there's only so much you can do. If you wait to start selling your membership site until it's perfect, you'll never end up selling your membership site. And that's why I said, get one piece of content, start selling it. It'll give you leverage to make sure you get it done. So even this whole year has really been a learning process for me, but in that time frame, we've been delivering awesome content and making some cheddar, which always helps. Let's see here. Somebody plug another product again. Andrew said, I want a fully automated site that once I set up doesn't need maintenance and can produce residual income. Can Kajabi do that? Short answer there is no, nothing can do that. There's no such thing as residual income. So let me just pause for a second while all the MLMers get all pissed off at me. The notion of creating residual income and never having to do anything to keep that going is a notion for the poor. And companies prey on poor people who are desperate for residual income or royalties or reoccurring revenue or whatever. And they tempt them with this notion that, hey, you can work once and get paid for life. And that's not how it works. If I did nothing on my Bulletproof Speaker Training membership right now to ever promote it, it would eventually die. Even Michael Jackson, one of the most popular musicians in the world, was coming out of retirement. Why? Because he wasn't marketing himself anymore, and he wasn't making any sales, and he was like, yeah, I'll put up with the public scrutiny, something I hate, in order to sell some more records. So, unfortunately, it cost him his life, but everybody has to continue to maintain things. So your notion, Andrew, that you're just never going to have to work and it's going to be maintenance-free, that's an illusion. You do have to spend your time and make them work. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you don't have to spend a lot of time, and definitely reoccurring revenue can happen, but you do have to give it some time and some attention on a consistent basis. Let's see here. What are the other questions? I'm just going to scroll through this real quickly. I'm already a professional speaker and I don't need tips on speaking, but I like the hotel review options. Can I purchase those? Okay, that's a question about the speaker membership site. Yes, it's $47 a month. And when you purchase just the venue review for $47 a month, I throw in all of the other stuff for free. How's that sound? We don't have it split up that way. It's $47 a month. If you don't see the value in that, then you're probably not going to stay a customer anyway. So kind of yes, kind of no on that one. Let's see here. I think... Nina, I don't have any videos on my membership site. Do I need your training? Well, Nina, if you don't have videos on your membership site, I don't know. Do you have audio? If you have audio on your membership site, then you could probably benefit from the Bulletproof Speaker Training, but maybe less, because we do actually have some camera skills and stuff on there. What I would rather do is I'd rather encourage you to get some video up there, because we live in a very visual society, and they're going to like that. So listen, I'd rather not answer questions on the Bulletproof Speaker Training. I really want to just answer questions on specifically the membership side. I think I've addressed most of those, probably not. But listen, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening in on this program. I hope you've got great value. We do a different webinar every single week, so if you've liked this and you realize, hey man, the guy gives quite a bit of content and then has a very small little sales pitch at the end, and that's worth it for me, tune in, sign up for all of them. We'd love to have you there. I'd also love for you to send me some emails and encourage me for new topics. So if there's something that I haven't covered that you think would be really beneficial as a professional speaker, then I'd love to do a webinar for that on you as well, on that for you, I think is the words that I was looking for. So by all means, send me an email. If I didn't answer your question specifically, which was typed, I will get back to that to you via email. If this has generated or created new questions for you and you need to ask a question before you sign up, hey, listen, I'm not a sales Nazi. It's no big deal. Just call my office, talk to either myself or Casey or somebody else at the office, and we'll answer the questions to the best of our ability. And at that point in time, if you're ready to sign up then, well, that's cool. It's tophermorrison.com/trial. You know it. And we'll remind you of it when you call us up. So that's all right, too. We're happy to have you guys give us a call, ask us any questions you might have before you make the commitment. But hey, $5, I'd say just jump in, do it now, ask questions later, all right? I'm going to be there. Oh, one other thing, speaking of asking questions, by the way, and this is, in my opinion, this is worth the $47 a month as well. I'm the person who maintains this site. So when you join this, any question that you ask of me, and there's a place on every single category, every single topic, every single lesson plan, there's a place for you to ask a question. And the moment you ask that question, I respond back. Now, I don't do it immediately. Usually I have about a 3 to 4 hour window there, but it's almost always within 24 hours because I baby this thing. I'm checking in on the administrative side to this, just looking to see if there's questions, probably 3 to 4 times per day, every couple of hours, once in the morning, once at lunch, once in the evening before I go home from work, and then usually sometime at night I tap onto it as well. So, you know, just to have my knowledge at your disposal, and you can ask me any questions you have about anything, you know, hey, that's, put it this way, look at it this way. If you've listened to this so far, at least I'm hoping that you've enjoyed it, and if you're the kind of person who says, you know what, if I could take Topher out to dinner once a month, to ask him questions and to find out what's going on, that'd be well worth it to me. If you're the kind of person who finds value in maybe taking me out to dinner, well, sign up for this because it's better than dinner. First off, it's cheaper than dinner. It's only $47, and you get my attention versus if you take me to dinner, all I'm doing is focusing on the sweet potatoes and when they're coming around. So that's the deal. $47 a month, but only $5 for the first month. Remember, when you sign up, you're going to get the Mental Game of Life videos for free as well. All you have to do is go to tophermorrison.com/trial. I got to get out of here. I got things to do. You got to get out of here. You got things to do. But before you do it, click that little green button at the bottom that says I want to try the $5 option, or just enter into your URL browser tophermorrison.com/trial, and you'll get the exact same deal. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check out our website at tophermorrison.com also and just look and see what other webinars we have coming up. Until then, please take care, dare to dream, and make each day an epic adventure. Bye for now.